Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browner, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings, and then I paint the rest. So the other day, I did a similar painting to this, and so I thought I would do one that had the 3 crosses here. So that is what we're doing. So today was one of those days that was hard, fun, and exhausting, kind of all wrapped into life. And I think right now, a lot of us are going through all of these moments in time. It's just so much muchness. It just feels like everything is kind of really hard, really heavy. And the weather, I don't think, is helping a lot of us right now. And sometimes weathering the storm, whether it be weather or whether it be life, the things that make us go and figure out why things are, feeling extra heavy and extra. And that kind of was how my day went today. Things that may not have necessarily felt so heavy on other days. With Owen today, it was just hard. There was just different moments that were just hard for him, for me. And he can read my emotions as quick, if not quicker, than I can. And it's that in itself is kind of one of those hard moments, because he knows what I'm going through. He knows when things are rough for me and emotional, and I don't, it's hard to explain, because I don't think he's necessarily trying to, I always say he's a button pusher, and it's not like he's trying to do these things on purpose. Like he's I always say, is it age, is it autism, is it Owen, and what combination and every other factor can you add into that list? Because he is delayed in a lot of ways, but yet what teenager doesn't want to get their parent on something? What teenager didn't want to push buttons while this weather, or they're not getting to do the things they want to do. I mean, I wasn't as much, like, I learned from my brother's, I won't call them mistakes, but his need to push the buttons. And I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't have said. I lost him a few years ago, so there's, a lot still with that I'm unpacking in my brain, emotion-wise. But, we think about things, and we deal with things, and we process things, and it's still all so much. I'm using a heavy hand tonight, and I want it to go a little bit lighter, but it's not really going that way, but that's okay. So, oh, and I'm knocking stuff. Oh, I'm supposed to be getting my paints in order, but that's not happening quite yet. So anyways, with Owen today and some of the things that we just went through, it was a lot of emotions, a lot of just moments in time, and just a lot. And again, there's, when you're dealing with weather-related, not fun, being stuck, and it was already hard because he had not been feeling good for a while, and so we had to go to the doctor, and then they were off school for a whole week. They technically, they had what they call, let's see, NTID. Basically, it's remote learning. I'm not, I forget. I'm not going to even try to guess the letters right now, what the letters mean. I'm too tired to think. But they had 2 days of this non-traditional learning stuff, and then they had 3 days that they were out of snow days, basically, and so they had to do schoolwork. Well, his teacher, first of all, she made sure that we knew, as the parents, not to stress out over any of the work, that if, so many people had lost power, so many people couldn't get out of their houses, so many people didn't have internet, etc., 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 etc. So she, made sure that we knew not to stress if we could not do the work with our kids, or like Owen, they were available on conference, like on their school app. And I pulled it up one day, one of the days for him. And as soon as he heard her voice, he ran off because he couldn't process and couldn't handle her, like he's just now in the last couple years been able to handle phone calls, like literally anyone that would call, he would be screaming, and I would know that most of the time I couldn't even take the call, or he would act up or have a meltdown or throw things, etc., 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 etc. And it breaks my heart, because how can something like that be so incredibly difficult for him? But it is, and it was, and like I said, he's come so far, but there's still so many emotions attached to that. And I literally some days just live on pins and needles, worried about what is going to happen if I get a phone call or if I need to do something. So, anyways, he was on a she was available for these conference calls, but he couldn't handle them. And she knew that. She understands, the complexity of all of this for her kids. And so I just didn't stress about it. And he actually did a lot of it with me. But it's hard. I mean, that's not the same as going to see his friends and being with his, love you too. I just saw you pop up. The camera's off to the side, so I didn't see. But it's so hard for him to even, just all of it. And so I'm praying that they get to go back to school Monday. I've told him that they're not going back to school till Wednesday, just because it was so much, I want to say the word easier, but nothing's easy about this. It was so much easier to explain to him that nobody's there and that, the weather. And so I put Wednesday as the day because looking at our weather, I just knew that I was going to be surprised if they got back sooner. So anyways, that was how I chose Wednesday, is I just looked at the weather and said, okay, this has to be what it is. So that's where we're at. So anyways, I think I've said so anyways about 30 times, but there we are. I'm not, this is what we're doing tonight. I am trying not to stress about anything, but you know what that does. So tomorrow, we're not going to go to church because the weather still outside is frightful, not very delightful. Plus, there might be some wind storms tomorrow, whatever you want to say. And it's hard for me to walk in wind. Well, it's hard for me to walk. And then the parking lot at church has a lot of ice still, and so between that and ice here, my house, it's just, we'll be staying home. So anyways, that is what we're gonna do. So I am always saying this: O for Owen, and then L and B. Thank you. There we go. All right. So that this was the one I did the other day, and so I've had this on my mind to do the 3, and so there we are. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.